Is up, fifth grade? Mr. G here. Another episode of Mr. G's Math Videos. In today's video, we are going to be starting a brand new topic. Our new unit is going to be order of operations. And this video is going to be a beginner's guide to understanding how order of operations works. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Let's go.
We got the skills that pay the bills. Mr. G's Math Videos, yeah, we bringing the thrills. We got the numbers, the fractions, the decimals too. Solving equations for what you gonna do?
So we are going to be using a acronym or mnemonic device called PEMDAS. PEMDAS stands for parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. And we use PEMDAS to help us remember the specific order of operations. We always do parentheses first, then exponents. Multiplication and division can be treated equally, so whichever one comes first. And then addition and subtraction also is treated equally, and again, whichever one comes first. So before we get into the nitty-gritty of PEMDAS and order of operations, let's just talk about why do we have order of operations. So let's say we have two students who are trying to solve an equation. Student A is trying to solve 10 minus 2 times 3. So they first do 10 minus 2 and get 8. And they drop down the times 3. So now they have 8 times 3. 8 times 3 is 24. Student B has the exact same equation, except they don't do 10 minus 2 first. They decide to do 2 times 3 first. They want to do multiplication. So they do 2 times 3 and get 6. So then they do 10 minus 6 and get the answer 4. Well, without order of operations, can you imagine what a more complex question would look like? Students would be getting all sorts of different answers and having their math teachers crash out. So we have order of operations. So when any student is trying to solve a problem, they will always get the same exact answer. That's why we have order of operations when we're looking at equations. Imagine if you were baking and one baker, they mix the eggs and flour together first, and then they bake the cake. The other baker, he decides to bake the flour and eggs and then mix it together. Can you imagine what would happen if you did that out of order? When you're baking or creating something, you would just have disastrous results. So we have order of operations to keep everything in order, to make sure no matter who's doing the problem, we all come to the same answer. All right, now we complete equations in a specific order, that's PEMDAS, and then we always work left to right. The second thing I want to talk to you about is multiplication. You are going to be seeing multiplication represented in different ways when we're doing these equations in fifth grade. So the first way we might see multiplication is the very standard way. You'll see that x, 4 times 3. Okay, we're used to that. That's kind of the normal way that we'll see it. Another way we can see it is like this. We have 7 plus 6 within our parentheses, and then immediately to the left of that, we just have a 5. When you have a number either before the parentheses or after the parentheses, and there's no symbol with it, that's going to be standing for multiplication. So this is 7 plus 6, and then we would multiply it by 5. A third way you might see multiplication is represented like this. We have a dot in the middle. So sometimes when you're working, especially like in algebra, you might see 5.5. That's just another way they like to show multiplication. So there's 3 different ways we need to be recognizing multiplication. That standard way with the X. Then the more fifth grade, middle school type way where we've got a number outside the parentheses, either before it. Sometimes that 5 might come after the parentheses, but as long as there's not a symbol in between, we read that as multiplication. And then the third way, this is a little less common. We have a dot in the middle, and that also symbolizes multiplication. All right. So now that we've talked about it, we've talked about why we have these order of operations. Let's go ahead and jump into our first example. So we have 24 plus parentheses 3 times 4 close parentheses minus 3. So when we look at PEMDAS, we always want to do our parentheses first. Whatever is inside those, we always want to do first. It doesn't matter if it's division, subtraction, addition, multiplication. Anything inside a parentheses, we are always going to do first. So I am going to do 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. And then what I'm going to do is bring down those other numbers and operations. So 24 plus and then the minus 3. I want to bring those down. And so now I have a next step, 24 plus 12 minus 3. Now, I don't see any more parentheses. I don't see any exponents, and I don't see any multiplication or division in this new line of equations. All I see is addition and subtraction. We treat addition and subtraction as equals. So whenever we have equal operations, we just work from left to right. So 24 plus 12 is going to go first. 24 plus 12 is 36. And then we're going to bring down the minus 3 into our next step or next line. And then we just complete that as normal. 36 minus 3 is going to be 33. So the answer to that complex equation is going to be 33. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at another example. Here we've got 15 minus 4 times 2 plus 8. So I want to look at my equation and first ask myself, do I see anything within the parentheses? And in this question, there are no parentheses. So then we look for exponents. Do we see anything in exponents? Nope, no exponents. So we just work our way down the list and we look for multiplication or division. And again, those are equal. So we're looking from left to right for multiplication and division. I don't see any division, but I do see times. I see 4 times 2. So that is where I'm going to be starting my equation. I want to first complete the multiplication 4 times 2. 4 times 2 is going to be 8. And then I'm going to drop everything down into a new equation or my second line, 15 minus 8 plus 8. Go through that order of operations again. I don't see any parentheses, no exponents, no multiplication or division. I just see subtraction and addition. We treat those the same. So we are going to be working left to right. And in this case, the subtraction is coming first before the addition. So we are going to do the 15 minus 8 part first, which is 7. And then we are going to bring down that plus 8. So now our last step is going to be completing the 7 plus 8. And notice every time I do a new step, I bring it into a new line so I can solve. 7 plus 8 is going to be 15. So 15 minus 4 times 2 plus 8 gives us an answer of 15. And our third example, a little bit more complex. We've got some division in here. I see some parentheses. I see some addition and some multiplication. So where do we start? PEMDAS. We're going to be starting with the parentheses always. I see that 4 plus 2 is within my parentheses, so that must mean I have to do that first. 4 plus 2 is going to be 6. And then I'm going to drop everything else into that line. 24 divided by 6 times 3. So now that the parentheses part is done, I see I have division and multiplication. They're equal. So when we have equal operations like that, we work left to right. So I'm going to be doing the division first. 24 divided by 6. And that's going to equal 4. And I'm going to drop down my times 3. And now my last step is 4 times 3, and 4 times 3 is going to be 12. So the answer to 24 divided by 4 plus 2 times 3 is going to be 12. All right, so you have now seen 3 different examples using our mnemonic device PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction, and you now know the order of operations. It's that part in the video where you are going to try some problems on your own. So in your first example, you have 16 minus 4 times 3 plus 10. And your second problem is going to be 64 divided by 18 minus 10 times 2. Go ahead and pause this video and see if you can work these two problems out on scratch paper. When you think you have your answer, go ahead and unpause the video and I'll walk you through the process on how to complete these. All right, welcome back. Let's see how you did. In this first example, I see 4 times 3 is within my parentheses, so I am going to be completing that first. 4 times 3 is 12. Then I'm going to be dropping down my other operations, the 16 minus and the plus 10. And now I see 16 minus 12 plus 10. Since addition and subtraction are equal operations, we just work left to right. So I'm going to be doing 16 minus 12 first. That's going to give me a total of 4. And then we drop down the plus 10. And then my last step is going to be 4 plus 10. That's going to give me a total of 14. How'd you do on that one? Hopefully you got that one right. Just remember, parentheses first, then you look for multiplication or division, then you look for addition and subtraction. All right, and then our second and final problem. We have 64 divided by 18 minus 10 times 2. Again, we are going to be doing the equation in the parentheses first. That's that 18 minus 10. That is going to give me 8, and then I'm going to bring everything down. 64 divided by 8 times 2. Since the division and multiplication are equal as far as their weight in what we do, we're going to be working left to right and we'll do the division first. 64 divided by 8 is going to be 8. We're going to bring down that times 2, and our last step is just completing 8 times 2, and that gives us a total of 16. All right, friends, that is it. That is order of operations. In this video, we discussed why we have order of operations and the reasoning behind that. And then we talked about our mnemonic device, PEMDAS, and what the actual order of operations are. Hopefully you got these last two problems right. Just remember, practice makes perfect. If you need to go back and watch this video again, go ahead and restart it. Try some different problems. You can create your own, and then just working on those order of operations. That is going to wrap it up for me. I appreciate everybody watching our very first video on our new unit, Order of Operations. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I will be releasing more videos in this unit. They will be more complex questions, so be on the lookout for that video. It should be releasing fairly soon. And that's going to do it for me. Until next time, Manta Rays, keep on mathin'.